In today's video, we will take a look at my team for Game Week 3. But before that, let's take a look at how the team performed in Game Week 2. After a score of 72 points, I now have a total of 174 points across 2 game weeks. My current rank is 304k, which is a small dip from last week's rank of 253k. Top performers for the week were Michail Antonio, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Konstantinos Tsimikas. Antonio's 16-point haul included 2 goals, 1 assist and 3 bonus points. Both Alexander-Arnold and Tsimikas featured in Liverpool's 2-0 victory over Burnley, as they provided an assist each. They shared 3 and 2 bonus points between them respectively. Overall, it was a decent game week. Although we saw a small red arrow, we did cross the game week average score of 56 points. Now it's time to take a look at my transfer plans for game week 3. As planned, Riyad Mahrez is the player that moves out. The Algerian scored in game week 2, but he wasn't part of the starting lineup, and the uncertainty surrounding his place in the team is the prime reason why I have decided to transfer him out. The initial thought was to bring in Son Heung-min, as he has been playing as the central striker for Spurs in the absence of Harry Kane. But Kane has now committed his future to the club and is expected to start in game week 3 against Watford. That leaves a huge question mark on where and what role Son will play in the team. Will he partner Kane up front like last season, or will he be pushed wide under the new coach? We will have to wait and watch. But for now, the South Korean won't be a part of my team. Instead, the informed Said Benrahma is the player who comes in. With 2 goals and 2 assists to his name, he is the most transferred in player for the game week. Only Michail Antonio has more points than him among all players. He might seem like a knee-jerk, but with games against Crystal Palace and Southampton up next, it is hard to resist the temptation. And with money left in the bank after downgrading Riyad Mahrez, I have decided to use my second free transfer to upgrade Josh Brownhill to Rafinha. He scored his first goal of the season in game week 2, and with the kind of attacking football Leeds play, he is a bargain at 6.5 million. Leeds have a great run of upcoming fixtures, with 4 out of the next 6 games below a difficulty rating of 3. He might miss the game against Liverpool in game week 4 due to quarantine restrictions following the international break, but is still a good long-term investment. So with the transfers set and done, let's take a look at how the team is set to line up. But before that, please take a moment and leave a like on the video. Hit subscribe if you are new on the channel and hit the bell icon to enable notifications. Robert Sanchez kept his first clean sheet of the season against Watford in game week 2, and a game against Everton at home would be a good chance to add to that. After 2 games, only Manchester City have conceded fewer shots on target than Brighton, while their expected clean sheets tally of 0.9 is the 3rd best in the league. For the first time this season, I will be going for a 3-man backline. Trent Alexander-Arnold registered his first attacking return of the season in game week 2. After 2 games, no player has created more chances than Alexander-Arnold in the league, while his expected assist figure of 1.15 is the 4th highest among all players. A game against Chelsea in game week 3 would be tough though. Lucas Digne has been disappointing so far, with only 2 points in 2 games. But a game against Brighton has potential for a clean sheet, as the Seagulls might be without their main striker Neil Maupay. With an ownership of more than 50%, Luke Shaw provided some relief to the managers who invested in him. To be honest, 5 points in 2 games doesn't do justice to the form with which he came into the season. Wolves in game week 3 will be a tough nut to crack, but Shaw has the ability to score points at both ends of the pitch. With 5 regular starters in midfield, 3-5-2 is the preferred formation this week. A game against Chelsea would be tough for Salah, but the Egyptian is one of those players who is fixture-proof. His record against Chelsea is quite decent as well, as he has 2 goals and 2 assists against the Blues in 8 games. Bruno Fernandes blanked in game week 2, but his hat-trick in game week 1 is still fresh on our minds. He has a tough game against Wolves in game week 3, but he is always just 1 penalty away from getting on the score sheet. New signing Said Benrahma is currently 2nd on the FPL points table. Only 3 other midfielders have a better expected goals than the Algerian, while 5 midfielders are ahead of him in terms of expected assists. Crystal Palace at home in game week 3 is a good fixture for him to add to the 4 attacking returns he has so far this season. Ismaila Sarr is a key figure for Watford, with his 11 points being a team leading number. After 2 games, no teammate can match him in terms of chances created and expected goals. while only Ken Sema has a better expected assist than him among teammates. In Game Week 3, he faces a Tottenham side who have conceded the most shots among all teams. Rafinha is the second new signing of the week, and he too is a key figure for his team. After 2 games, he has taken the most shots among all Leeds players, while he is second among teammates in terms of expected goals and expected assists. He faces Burnley up next, a team who have conceded the most shots on target and most shots inside the box so far this season. The forwards have done well for me with none of them blanking so far. Michail Antonio currently sits on top of the FPL points table with 29 points. That includes 3 goals and 3 assists. In terms of stats, no other player in the league can match him in terms of total shots, shots on target or expected goals, while only Mason Mount and Mohamed Salah can better his 1.16 expected assists. Crystal Palace at home in Game Week 3 is a nice fixture for a West Ham side who have taken the second most shots on target among all teams this season. And completing the team is Danny Ings. He has scored in both games so far this season for a total of 15 points. He has taken only 2 shots on target this season and scored with both of them. That highlights how clinical he is. But that also highlights the lack of creativity behind him, with Aston Villa creating the 5th lowest number of chances among all teams. Their Game Week 3 opponents Brentford are yet to concede a goal this season, but they have conceded 29 shots in total. Only 6 other teams have conceded more. On the bench this week will be Ben Foster, Joel Veltman, Tsimikas and Dane Scarlett. Veltman is still unavailable due to COVID-related protocols. With Andy Robertson back fit, Tsimikas' chances of featuring against Chelsea looks bleak. I have 1.3 million left in the bank after utilizing both of my free transfers. Captain for this week will be Michail Antonio against Crystal Palace. He is in form, he has a great fixture and is playing for a team which has the highest expected goals out of all teams. They are right up there with the best in terms of attacking stats as well as creativity. Alright, so that's it for today. If you liked the video then please show your support by pressing the like button and sharing the video with your friends. Thank you for watching.